Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Teman-teman Mas Aina binti MD Buhari. My name is Khairul Amri bin Shamsul Anwar from Group 2. Today, I will be presenting the introduction for our final project. The introduction consists of 4 parts. The first being the introduction. Second is problem statements, followed by objectives, and lastly, scopes. Let's proceed to the first part, which is introduction. The helicopters can be used as a medical transport, military, search and rescue operations, and aerial observations. Our client, which is Ikhlas Terbang Helicopter Corporation Sendirian Berhad, provides services such as tours, VIP transfers, and private charters. The data stored by Ikhlas Terbang Helicopter Corporation Sendirian Berhad consists of registration. For registration, there is the registration number, registration date, and the status of the helicopter. Next is model. For model, there is helicopter model, name, maximum capacity, maximum passenger weight, cruise speed, weight of helicopter, engine type, range, and configuration. Besides that is the DCAM test. DCAM stands for Department of Civil Aviation Malaysia. Each test has a test ID, name, type, and a possible score. Furthermore, the data for engineer. The type of data is the engineer ID, full name, gender, IC number, expertise level, and the salary of each engineer. Next will be problem statements. One of the problems include too much data to handle for each category. The second one is difficult to access and manage each piece of information. Thirdly, we have objectives. Our objective is developing a database system for Ikhlas Terbang Helicopter Corporation Sendirian Berhad. The objective is to store, update, and access data for each part of information. This allows easy access and efficient updates of any type of data in the system. Last is scope. The user will be the database manager, as he will add, view, update, and delete data of new information. The database can also be used to calculate cost of parts for helicopters. The software that we are using for our client is Oracle Apex. That's all. Thank you.
A very wonderful day to Madam Aina. My name is Choon Fei, and I'm from Group 2, and now I will do the presentation on ERD, or also known as Entity Relationship Diagram, on our final project. And here is what our ERD looks like overall. Unfortunately, time is not allowing me to explain everything in details, so I just take a couple interesting things that I saw in our ERD. As we can see in the engineer entity, it got an unary relationship exists within it. That is, one engineer can be supervised by one and only one supervisor, but an engineer supervisor may supervise many engineers. You may be asking why the engineer supervisor ID is not in bold. That is because when an engineer is a supervisor, he or she don't need a supervisor ID because he or she already is the supervisor. So it is a optional attribute. Then the next thing you may notice is throughout the ERD of our final project, we got a bridge entity exists between the engineer entity and the helicopter model entity. This is because to implies the many-to-many relationship between engineer entity and the helicopter model entity. That's all for me for today. Goodbye and thank you.
Assalamualaikum and a very wonderful day to Madam Aina. My name is Mustafa bin Jamil. I am from Group 2. Today, I'm gonna present the DML update statement on our final project of database. Indeed, I cannot explain all of them, but I'm gonna explain how much I can. As we can see here, for the first query, I changed the helicopter speed of helicopter model number H002 to 200 of speed. For the second query, I changed the engineer phone number of Harry James to his new phone number, which is 054-804-12203. For the next query, the table that updated is the DCIM test table, where I changed the test maximum score of test ID TI002 to 85 of test maximum score. For the fourth query, I update part table, where I change the quantity part of part number PT040 to 150 part quantity. Since there's a few minutes left, I'm gonna explain a little bit about the DML delete statement. The first query of delete statement is, we go to the engineer model table, where I delete a rows where engineer ID at EG300. Next, we go to the testing event table. As we can see here, the rows with data of testing event that been held in September 2017 will be deleted. Last but not least, in medical exam table, we delete the rows where the medical results have low blood pressure and sugar case. I guess that's all from me. Thank you and have a good day.
A very good morning to Puan Aina. Today I'm Brian Joe will be representing our group database project. So the select statement which I have select is in and outer join operation. So in and outer join operation is used to combine two tables into one table. The first query is list down the medical result along with the engineer ID, engineer name and medical number. So we are going to combine now medical table and engineer table, medical exam table and engineer table. So this is our SQL statement below here. The ENG ID means engineer ID, MED result stands for medical result, ENG name stands for engineer name, MED number stands for MED number. For this SQL statement, we decided to use natural join. And here's our array relation algebra for our SQL statement. So this is our example output for our first query SQL statement. So let us proceed to the second. The second query is list down the number of helicopter model expertise, helicopter model number, engineer name, engineer ID and engineer gender. So this we are going to combine engineer model table and engineer table. So on this SQL statement, we decided to use join on. So here is our SQL statement, structured query language, is standard query language, and here our relational algebra, and here finally is our data, output data. Thank you, madam. That's all from me today.